Well, hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll start with Paul. Hello, Paul, teammate, co-host. What's goody?
Hey, what's happening? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for co-hosting with me today.
Of
And with us,
course.
we have Epic. Hello, Epic. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Epic,
Hello.
welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
I'm so excited. I actually forgot how to be a guest from hosting. I'm pretty excited. Thank you so much.
So great.
Awesome.
Well, we're excited.
Absolutely. Always excited for a day when we get to learn a little bit more about our community and welcome them in. And yeah, this is always a fun day in my schedule. So Epic, thank you for your time and thank you for yeah, being gracious with it and be willing to come and spend an hour with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
With that, I think, what do you think? Should we wait or should we just jump right in?
I wanted to say if you're in here and you would like to retweet and share the space, we would love to have more people come in and join us. So that would be amazing. Right before we get started and jump right in, as Paul said.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start and then I see there's a request already. I'm excited about this participation, but we're gonna leave the Q&A, the open Q&A after a few questions, and then we welcome everyone to join us on stage and just ask epic questions. So thank you so much for your request. We'll hold off for now. And then after a few, we'll let you know when we're ready to have our audience on stage ask epic questions directly. So we're grateful. But in the meantime, we would love for you to share this space and let people know that we are in here with the Collector Spotlight with Epic.
Nice. Nice. All right, Epic. I think we're just after we, everybody retweets, we're watching everybody, just so you know. Just kidding, we're not. But I already retweeted it, so I'm ahead of the game. I don't like to brag or anything, but you know, kind of my deal. Um, Epic, thank you so much. I always love hearing about just the story of our guests. So my first question, which is always my favorite question, is tell us who you are, what you do, however much you want to share. We are waiting with bated breath to hear your story. So yeah, please, the floor is yours and welcome.
So thank you so much. Nice to be here. Um, I'm really excited to be the guest today. So I have been hosting a lot of spaces here and there, and I really forgot how to be a guest. So I really appreciate for this invite, and also I want to thank dear co-hosts and also all the listeners who are here right now to listen to my journey and story. So yeah, Epic. That was the nickname that started using a few years ago in the space. Well, I study visual communication design myself, and here I actually don't consider myself as an exact, like just a collector. Yeah, it's a collector spotlight. I do collect artworks as well, but I have a bunch of hats. So how I would summarize it would be well, I have a lot of hats. Like I'm a content creator. I love connecting people. I love inspiring. I love jumping into communities, and I also love creating as well. So I have been doing this for a couple of years now, and it then began to roll like a snowball. I started with something small, and then it starts. A lot of amazing creators started to gather around me, and then I was thinking, all right, I can start doing the things that I love to do. So I then took. I know I have been a huge fan of Pepe myself as well, but that was a bit too obvious that Epic NFT is not about pure fun. I was doing a lot of stuff art related as well. So I have been like honoring great talents by sharing them and giving them spotlights on my own account as well. And then I jumped into communities as a hero figure. So people were going like, "Oh, Epik is here. Epik, let's go." And I loved that vibe. So I just rocked a cute animal PFP and to be a part of that community and start creating content and gathering all of them around me. So it was really fun. I call that riding the waves of Web3. So I'm also a DJing coin trader, for example, and I started actually mining Bitcoin way before this NFT bubble that happened like a few years ago. So I'm pretty much an OG, one of the OG crypto guys here. And NFT, I think we will get into that, like how I jump into NFTs in specific. And being that, I got a lot of cool friends around me, and then we started to connecting more. And with that, I kind of started having fun, and I think that's important in the most parts of your life. You need to do something, and it's not, it's not easy for everyone. This case that also including artists, I think. I really now doing the thing that I love to do. So it's pretty much, I'm not gonna say I was lucky, but I took the correct path for myself. So yeah, basically that's Epik, I guess.
Epic, you have an epic journey. You started by mining crypto years ago, and you started right off the bat with understanding tech, which is something that artists struggle at first, is to understand the tech. But we love the art part of the tech and the crypto journey that allows us to digitize our artwork and come into a new phase of Web3. And so tell us a little bit about how do you enter the artistry side, and the NFT is not just art. I mean, there's more to that, but how did you get into that side? How did you start collecting art after you've already been mining crypto, already have been collecting that on the side, which is a different side of the tech?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I remember the days where we used to like drop $200 of fees on Ethereum, and $100 to foundation. So it's almost like 300 just to mint. Yeah. So I first jumped into, the technology aspect actually. But me myself, I was a visual communication designer, as I mentioned, and a huge fan of Beeple. So what a coincidence, Beeple actually was the guy who kind of started the first bull run, maybe, if we call it a bull run, and got all the I mean, he got us on, like, mainstream media. And then everyone started to talk about that huge sale that he had with 5,000 days of artwork. I think it was $69 million or something at that time. And I was a huge fan. When I was doing my homeworks and things, like 3D designs, I actually did, look at his works a lot. And he didn't have this crazy style at those days. He did just, some motion designish, 3D works, and I used some of his assets. Disclaimer: I used some of his assets as well in my homeworks in 3D. Um, I was also, like, showcasing great artworks, and I wanted my timeline it was Twitter at those days. On Twitter, I wanted my timeline to be beautifully inspiring for myself. And then when I started to see that, okay, I can own some of the artworks of these great people, great, artists, and own them digitally, I was like, okay, so this is something new, and the world is going to, be checking it out. So I should be early, in a way. And then I started, experimenting. So I tried minting, I tried, doing stuff, and Twitter suddenly gifted me an NFT of their own collection. which is right now worth 18 ETH, has an 18 ETH floor, which no one knows about, but I think it has a historical story behind it as well. And then all the art-related community gathered around Epik, and then I started to think about what value can I bring to the people who are around me and having fun. So I feel like if you don't share the same passion with the friends around you and the same excitement about the things that you're doing, it's a tough journey. But when you have the wave on your side or the wind on your side, it's more fun. And if it matches the thing that you love doing, it suddenly becomes it's more than 2 times 2 is not 4. It's now 5 or maybe 10. So that's how I actually jumped into the artistic side. I was already in the art side, and my favorite figure, Beeple, just jumped in, and I was suddenly, I think most of us hear it from somewhere and start exploring it. That's how it begins for all of us. So that's my story in the artistic side of crypto.
That's awesome. I love how like you already had a connection to the artists that like brought you into that space as far as, just admiring their what they do, right? And then like you said, you're using some of these, techniques and approaches in your own work. So that's really cool. I think that's a benefit to um community that we don't talk enough about, like how there's inspiration just through interaction and learning about one another. Um, and I just wanted to ask, where is community? How is that impacting your time in Web3? I can hear that like you showed up to spaces, you're hosting spaces, but when did community become a part of the equation of who Epic is here in Web3?
Yeah, I always think about that a lot. Right now with Web3, there are a lot of different opportunities and risks as well. But as an artist now, you need to have sort of a brand. You need to stand out, and you also have to kind of engage or have your own way of communicating with your, let's say, um, collectors in a way, in a sense. They don't all have to be your collector directly, but they want to be a part of your story somehow. If you manage to do that. So for me, as an ex-gamer addict, so when I saw everyone wearing these cute PFP animals, I was like, hey, I love this. So I just jumped into like cool cats, dead fellas. Definitely missed the CryptoPunks, but it's fine. You miss some, you gain some, you lose some. That's crypto, right? And then I really started having fun. Um, having connections. We've actually had a speech with Abrani as well. Having that like-minded people around you and a really strong inner circle. And then I started to join communities that are not directly created by me, led by me, but I'm also part of some of them. So, for example, we have a 23 artist collective, which we drop new collections every 3 months or so. So our next drop will be themed on an island, for example, and that actually makes me think on the creative side as an artist. And then I started to think, for example, the concept is on an island, and I have been really obsessed about masks and isolation and the identities that we create in these isolated islands, social media. So I've been thinking on that a lot, and then it sparked me a lot of inspiration. So it was the community actually forced me to be creative. So I'm having a lot of fun with the community I have right now around Epic. And I also have different verticals, like, for example, Gmbillionaire. Um, you know, I, Actually, I can pin that as well. Gmbillionaire is, for example, a game show where I actually ask 5 questions to the person who comes up on stage, and they try to win the prize. So I'm pushing myself out of my boundaries as well, and that's only pure fun. But on the other side, I'm working on the patrunos with Seiji, is also a listener right now. It's hardcore art related, high class creativity focused, and more on the learning and appreciation side. Actually, that's how we met as well with Abrani in a space. I talked about the interview that we did with Mind's Eye. So what we do there is completely different. I put my hat on, the Patronos hat on, and um, I try to create a knowledge base there to help the new friends who are here. So we drop interviews and try to be the middleman of collectors and creators. So let me also pin that as well. I would like, if you're an art related person, which I think a lot of friends right now here are art related, a creator or a collector in a way. For example, we dropped an interview with Mind's Eye. It's not just an interview, but we get to learn and don't make the same mistakes, or at least get a perspective on what to do and what not to do. So that knowledge base, I think, is really valuable. So the more value I bring, of course, it's time consuming to create valuable content, but at the end of the day, it's worth doing it when you get those reactions, just one comment, one like, or just one person in a stream, in a live stream says that, oh, what you're doing is so cool. And then it motivates you. I'm not talking about the monetization ways. Of course, I earn some money as well as an ambassador or by grinding some tokens or trading. But I always try to be on the give back culture. So the more I earn, the more I collect. And I try to spread my own earnings into arts. So I have my own Epik collection. I call it the Epik collection. It has almost 100 artworks inside it. And now we started collecting for the patrunos with Seitzi and the patron. We call it the patrunos vaults. So we're so excited about that as well. It's going quite fun and really the direction that we wanted, and it's growing so fast as my community around Epik is like 80% creator related. Yeah, I think that's all.
That's so awesome. I love hearing what people are how people are engaging with others. And to have this Patronus and with Satsi, and hosting artists to not only learn about their process, but to also just help and aid others who are going to interact with this content is amazing. It's something that we feel very strongly about here, Light Art and the Miyamo Art Foundation. And so, yeah, so kindred spirits, and we definitely appreciate all your efforts that you're doing to uplift the community. It's something that's really important and often overlooked, especially when establishing a new movement of people and trying to organize and educate. So, yeah, we really do appreciate that. Annie, what are your thoughts?
I love hearing how involved you are in the community with different communities, and you're not just paying attention, but you are actively doing for different communities. I think that is so important and requires so much of your time, which I just want to say thank you for doing that. I jumped into one of your spaces to hear the artist Ashton speak about his work, and then I jumped on space, and then you and I had a conversation about community, and I just think it's so powerful to jump on these spaces and hear artists, like you're giving artists a space to speak, you're listening, and then you're collecting. And then you're not just there doing that for your Epic collection, but then you're with Stacey and you are interviewing artists with the Patruno and collecting with the Patruno art. And I have a question regarding that, since you have two different collectives that you're doing. How does an artist get on your list for either interviews or collecting for either or collections?
Yeah, an amazing. Thanks for all the nice comments as well. Really good question as well. By the way, before jumping into that, I also want to say that, as you mentioned, I'm trying to like have different communities, but also they kind of merge in some of the events. As you mentioned, for example, you jumped into one of the art-related spaces, but it could have also been a Gmbillionaire, which is totally different. But then a lot of artists just raid that show, and then it's all they kind of merge and blend into each other. And I find that really interesting. For example, I'm going to give this one. Um, I started experimenting with live streams on X. So I started like playing games as a normal streamer and an game addict. Then one day I started to think, how can I showcase artworks in a fun way? And then I started doing karaoke's live with my worst voice on internet. And suddenly it started to boom, like went viral. I was showcasing artworks, and so the concept was this: you get in the stream, you share your artwork, and I sing the song that you request. So a frog is singing Michael Jackson with his worst voice, ruining your favorite song and artist forever. On the other hand, showcasing your artwork to thousands of people. And then I was just having fun. It didn't turn out to anything. Let's say, okay, you might be a content creator trying to monetize it. But now there are projects that are reaching out and telling me, oh, we want our logo on that stream. And then if I get to sponsor it, I can use that budget to buy more artworks. So when buying artwork, what I have, so I curate my timeline actually. Even have, it's so simple, an Excel file where I kind of focus on the artists that I love. It might be the style that resonates to me. It might be the story, or it might be an artist that I have a strong connection since long time. It's not always, I think Web3 is a bit different in that sense. For example, Xcopy is an interesting example to this. You don't have to resonate directly with the artwork itself, but you might want to be a part of that artist's journey and the community that the artist has created. So I think Web3 art is different in the sense of physical and traditional art. It might be the story that you're joining. It doesn't have to be, yeah, of course you buy the artworks that you want to showcase on your wall. Now there are some projects that I see are working on that. You know, it's always the unique artworks and the artist that you brag about in the end. So when they see it on your wall, it has to evoke, it should be a kind of an icebreaker. It should be something that people want to talk about. Well, on my wall, I have Elon Musk's reply that I love working on growth hacking, for example. That's an art for me, for myself. He replied to me once and shared my meme, and I was working on that growth hacking. I love that as well. And I put it on my wall. And who cares? That's my art. I love looking at it. And it's also really emotional. You know, you can have your families, your loved ones photograph around you, and that's art because it makes you feel good. Period. That's all the thing that matters at the end of the day. So that's my point of view when collecting artworks, actually.
I love hearing that. It has to resonate with you, but also be a connecting, but there has to be some connection there with the collector. And that's how most collectors collect. And so thank you for your response. What a great way to connect your different communities, all through art. But then I love hearing your interaction with your live with the GM Billionaire and how you sing karaoke. I think that's so interesting. I've never heard someone do that. And so now I'm intrigued, and now I'm gonna be looking out for your next one, because I definitely want to hear this as an ex-singer myself. I feel like this is gonna be an interesting and fun opportunity to hear you sing. But what got you started? I feel like this is very important. I think it's nice to hear your passion towards community, which I am very passionate about community. So is Paul, and I'm always looking for opportunities to meet people IRL. But first, my first question should be, what got you started hosting these spaces, these creative spaces, right? But then have you attended an IRL event, like a Web3 community IRL event?
Actually, yeah. 3 years ago, I actually went to NFT NYC, and I went there to actually create content. And oh, there's a story. Gary Vee was doing the opening speech, and at the end, I found him in the middle of the crowd. Everyone was around him, trying to, shoot videos, and I just went in. I'm also um, I been using camera a lot. So I jumped in and just run. His bodyguard was looking at me, and I just like held his shoulder and turned Gary Vee towards myself, took the camera and put it on his face and asked a question. That was the moment that I can create a content that could go viral. And then it did, because I knew that Gary Vee was the guy at that time. So if I find an in real life event, yeah, I do join. So you might have the chance. And the fun part is nobody knows that I'm Epic, and I find that really fun. Um, you know, I'm, you know the meme where there's a guy in a party and like waiting, standing at the side of the room and saying they don't know that I'm Epic. So the only way to find out is to reach out and to figure it out. So I kind of gamificate, if that's the word, gamificate my own branding. And we meet, and then they go like, "Oh, Epic, I've seen you on my timeline." Because I actually create content in terms of about anything, because I love doing it. It might be a breaking news. It might be about a new NFT project launch. It might be my own creation as well. So somehow I try to be in front of someone's timeline. So I play it as like a game. I try to play it in the rules. I try to break the rules. So why can't an artist try to get a repost from Elon Musk? And another interesting thing is that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Elon Musk actually reposted an artist. And then I checked the profile, and that artist has a foundation, and that artist was someone that I have seen the first time in my life. And then it took my attention, and I checked out, and their artworks were being sold between 0.5 and 1 ETH. So it was really interesting to see that. He got like millions of impressions, and I don't know if it turned out into a sale for that artist, but it was an interesting thing to see, a story to see actually. But yes, I would say yes, I do join in real life events as a frog, and the only way to find out is to actually speak to Epic the frog. You need to find me because I jump far.
That is hilarious. But thank you for that. That's really cool. I love hearing that you do IRL events. Because Light Art hosts some IRL events, and we partner with other people that do IRL events to be able to expand our community. So this is another way that our communities intertwine with other like-minded communities. And so this is fun. So I'll make sure to pen an invite once we have another IRL event set. But at this time, we want to invite the audience to come up and speak and dialogue with us. But the purpose for this is not to show your art, but to ask Epik a question. And so we would like for you to be um, respectful of that. And it's not an opportunity to shill, but more of an opportunity to ask Epik questions. Let's get to know Epik and respect his time here. And with that said, I would love to hear from Stacey if he's available. Just how that partnership between you guys got started. You can go ahead and say Epik if you want, how that partnership got started, how Patrunos got started. I think what you guys are doing there is very tailored to a community, a specific community. And so if there was something specific you wanted to say about your partnership with Stacey, I would love to hear it.
But by the way, right now, Ashton just pinned a screenshot from one of the live streams. It was snowing. It's probably last winter. And Ashton said, Epik has the singing as well. And I don't agree on that, but I try my best. So you get to see the live stream. It's like 3 artworks on the wall, and in the front I'm singing the requests, trying to sing at least the request, and have fun, just vibing and trying to bring fun in the shilling business. And also let me talk a bit more about the patrunos as well. So we came together to think about how we could bring value to art related communities. What do they seek? And then we thought that when I reach out to artists, at least talk with artists, their main problem is they don't have an idea on how to present or showcase their artworks in the neatest and correct way, where to use their energy to actually market. So you need to be clever instead of high effort. And they actually do need some branding in a really neat and tidy way. So we check with Seiji and see like, oh, this artist has a broken link. This artist's nickname is different on different platforms. So we thought that not us, but the artists that are actually already very successful in the Web3 space should be talking about it. And we started to interview them and then publish these interviews with like Amber Victoria, Die with the Most Likes, Rainisto, Emi Kusano, PR Guitarman. So they're all artists that you should be following if you're not. And the ones that actually have failed a lot to success, so that we don't make the same mistakes, and for them to give us a perspective. So we're dropping those interviews, trying to give a bit of showcase and spotlight to emerging artists that we've actually curated our own GMs, because GM is a culture, and then we mixed it with portfolios. So we design portfolios for them and share them on our GMs. And we also collect as the Patrunos as well. We started our own collection there, and it's pretty exciting. And I've been also lately working on my own artwork and mask-inspired project as well. And I'm so diving deep into it and very obsessed about identity building, masks, and having fun around it. For the 23 Artist Collective gave me the chance, the spark of inspiration to think about the masks that we wear in social media. Why do we choose this specific PFP? For example, why do you choose your own that photograph of yours, but you actually neglect all others? You might have hundreds of thousands of images there, but you choose that particular image as your brand. So I'm also working on that a bit. So I started from the Patrunos and jumped a bit about what I've been thinking on lately. And if anyone has questions, Riyadh is also here, my man. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, how shall we do it?
Yeah, so I'll start with Ashton, who we had up first, and then we'll follow with Rajat, who requested to speak earlier. Hi, Ashton. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, what's up, GM? Yeah, just vibing with everyone and whatnot. Kind of was late. But yeah, awesome interview right now. Just like hearing the background between both parties and whatnot. Yeah, I was just in Epic's live stream like a long time ago. It was like random, but it was pretty cool. Kind of like being part of that. It was like basically just showing artist art in like live stream, and he was singing as well. So it was the singing was like big time brave. I don't know if I would ever been done able to do that. So mad props to you, Epic. Um, um, but yeah, I just want to know like basically like how you enjoying your time in the Web3 space. If there was something you would or if something could change, what would it be? And yeah, just enjoyed the vibes. Thanks for having me up.
Did I miss the question? Or
He asked if there was something you can change in the Web3 space, what would it be? And if you're enjoying your time in Web3.
Oh, uh, actually, what I have fun is actually what's happening around my own profile and daily routine and content. So I try to mix what I love doing with what could be valuable in the space. So it's not always easy because the attention span is now really short, for all of us. It's hard to focus on. We've talked about it in an art related space as well. We've talked about how attention span could have changed the artistry world, and it's, I think, totally an interesting concept that could be thought about. Now we used to watch like Netflix used to give you a CD or DVD, and you put it on and you rent it and then you watch it for 2 hours, and then for the next you gotta wait. But now content and visual content is like bursting around all of us, and I think what I would like to change is having a chance to filter this somehow, because sometimes you get overwhelmed of content and FOMO, and you don't know what to focus on, and it can be exhausting sometimes. It's not something that I could change, but it seems like time is flying so fast. The joke that they say Web3 is like 4 times faster than real life, and it's true. You blink an eye and you miss an opportunity. But on the other hand, there are a lot of things that you can do that can change your life or someone's life, and that makes me excited. That's why I wake up every day. If it changes my life in a positive way, I love doing it. And if it's changing someone's life, that's a bonus. That's my mindset in most of the times, in cases.
That's beautiful. Next up we have Rajat. But before Rajat, I wanted to ask Paul if he had something to add.
No, 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 I was just going to do what you just did, which was so much more well done than I could have done it. So thank you, Annie. Yeah, welcome to the stage. We are happy that you're here, and yeah, the floor is yours.
Hello guys, hope you are doing well. So, Epic, brother, you know my question. Do you want to have crazy questions or formal questions? Okay? You can choose, by the way, or we can mix it together. So we will start with the formal questions. First, Epic, I have seen the things that you have collected. So, you collected things like minimal style, and minimal style with some colors, and through the minimal there is some abstract and pop art. So as Epik, as a collector, what type of art you love the most as a collector? Shoot us something.
Okay, so these two pieces are my latest acquisitions, so I wanted to share those two for sure. Well, for me, there are a lot of things that affects my way of thinking as a collector. Uh, I first it can be it may get me spark some emotions on me as a viewer. First is that. The second is it can be the story or the journey of that artwork or the person, the creator. And the third is it might be a creator who has been around me and I have a strong connection. That could also be the reason. So that's what I find actually that's where Web3 art, I think, or crypto art, I think, differs from, like traditional, and physical artworks. It doesn't have to be directly the, the style of the artwork, because in my wallet, if you look, I have 3Ds, I have pop art, I have simple, I have physical drawings, I have oil paintings. I'm just curating my own world, and it's not always the style, but it's sometimes the friends and connections I make as well. And I really find that really a strong part of the power of Web3 and crypto art. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good answer.
Yeah, I love how art can surprise you, right? And like it seems like you follow what, like what is striking you in that moment and what is making an impression, whether it's emotional or it's visual or, something that you can't fully put your finger on, but you're just kind of like, I love this. I find that if I'm picking up a piece, and especially from an artist that I don't know, like that is something that, um, yeah, I kind of just let rule. Like if I see something, I'm like, whoa, what is this? So yeah, no, that's awesome. Um, yeah, Epic, please.
Also, at the end of the day, I think it's the stories and narratives that that's the most important part. Uh, there was a story. It was like 3 years ago. I suddenly had an email saying, "Your a bid has like the auction has started," and I was like, I didn't mint anything as a creator, and then oh, one of the artists, I think it was Gidralvik, he gifted me an artwork, and then he said one of my friends said that this is Epik, and then he thought of me and gave that artwork, and those days I was just experimenting with platforms and stuff, and I put it on sale just to check how it works, and then after a few months it started an auction, and it I think was sold for about 1 ETH or something. And he also got royalties. He started DMing me, like was like saying thank you. Oh, it's going, because as I have shared it a few times that he gifted me an artwork. Some creators saw it maybe and just started to bid on it, and I didn't even remember me putting it on sale. That's the only artwork that has been sold from my personal collection so far. But then it turned out to be an interesting story. I made a sale. Someone bought an artwork from my personal collection.
That is amazing. Amazing. Riyadh, please continue. If you have another question, we'd be happy to hear it. Yeah.
Huh. Actually, I have tons of questions for Epik. Today he is my victim, so congrats, Epik. Epik, from your opinion, to be honest, because you have been trending, not trending, let's say doing some things over ordinals, and also I have seen that you collected something over Solana, and also you have something over Tezos. So, as someone who experiments crypto and multiple art platforms and multiple blockchain. From your opinion, as a feedback to any artist or collector, what blockchain you feel like this is good for art? I mean, from your opinion, okay? And then we will turn to some crazy questions. So this is the last one, which is professional Epik. Wait and answer correctly. Go ahead, man.
I know the question will be my shoe size, so I will I will be answering that next. Oh, it's not okay. I'm ready for it. So I actually experimented a lot of different platforms, art wise and like trade wise, and also different chains. I've experimented ordinals, Solana, Tezos, Ethereum, of course. So they all have their pros and cons. So it's not so easy to say that this is the best, and it will never be like that, in my opinion. We will never come to a point to say that, okay, art should be on Solana. I think we will never have that because they all have their different, trends as well. But you never know if Tezos chain will be gone forever one day because they all have different technologies. Some of them are slow but expensive. Some of them are fast but don't have the royalties. Some of the platforms ruin their reputation with their, the days when OpenSea thought that, okay, let's get rid of royalties. Okay, but for an artist, it was a really strong, significant future as NFTs. If let's say Picasso was selling on the secondary, if the collector was selling once again, Picasso wouldn't get royalty from that. Would have no idea at all. But now we have the chance to get royalties, even though the artwork is changing hands, and that's really important. And despite all, I think the most important part is having your signature, no matter what, on your artwork, and making it unique is the most important thing, apart from technology wise. So I think they all have. So I'm not going to distinguish any chain, but I would say crypto and traditional art is definitely different in a way. And there are a lot of artists who are huge on Instagram, huge like on in real life sales. They don't have an idea of crypto at all. Well, maybe they don't have to, but uh, it's it's a playground that's still pretty new, and it will be there forever. Most of them.
So you didn't choose any blockchain. You keep on rotating, rotating, rotating. I said I need one blockchain. Choose. Or you have ETH, you have Tezos, you have Solana, and ETH, Tezos, and you have Ordinal Bitcoin. Choose one. Which one is your most preferred blockchain? Don't drive me crazy. This is professional question, okay, Epik? Go ahead, yalla.
Okay, here's my answer then. My answer is Bitcoin. But why? Because if if we are at the end of the world and if aliens just come here, attack, take over the world, the first thing that they will check will be the first chain created by Satoshi. So probably they won't be checking the others. And as that will be having the most historical, I mean, uh, as it's the reason that we're here, it's the technology that started, of course, smart contracts and things like that as well from Ethereum. Most of them use that technology, the EVMs and all those stuff with the smart contract technology. But still, Bitcoin is the god. So I would say Bitcoin, but it's not because of it's of course slow and expensive, but it doesn't change the, how do you say, the reason that we're here now. It was Bitcoin first and always will be.
Well, that's a great response, considering the tech. And thank you, Rajat, for your question. We do want to be respectful of your time and move on. And there's still 3 more speakers to go. And so if that's okay with you, Epic, we'll just continue with the list of people who had come up to ask you some questions.
For sure, for sure. And Riyadh, my feet are really small. I told you on another space, I'm just a frog.
So funny. We want to continue with Stefano. Stefano, thank you for joining us and joining the space.
Hi. Well, actually, I found that this space is full of people that I don't know. So it's pretty awesome. So, well, for those who doesn't know me, I'm a body painter and photographer, an artist, an actor, from a singer, and a lot of stuff from Italy. I do art for a living. So in half an hour, I will have my musical classroom. And so thanks for the opportunity to stay here now. I am active in mostly Tezos, and I tried also Bitcoin with ordinals, but I'm more stitched to Tezos now. So if you want to take a look at what I do, you have all the you have all the possibilities. You have my links on my link tree, and also here if you want. And
Thanks,
so,
Stefano. Do you have a question for Epic specifically?
yes, you mentioned a lot of art that you don't have. So may I suggest you a body painter? Yeah.
Stefano, we just want to, if this is a question specifically for Epic, this isn't really an opportunity to share your artwork. This is a
No.
space to learn
Okay.
from
Sorry.
Epic.
Okay. Sorry. I'm removing also from the top. Yeah, I was just joking. So no, if you have a specific, what do you think about the lack of connection between collectors and artists in spaces and social networks? I mean, yeah, I made right now a little provocation, sort of an example of sharing, of what could be rude or what could be sounding rude in spaces. So, what do you suggest to avoid this?
Thank you so much. Also nice to meet you as well. Well, actually, doing this right now, that was a performance art. That's what I think. We are
Yeah.
artists. And I don't remember who said, in one of the spaces, they said like, we're artists, we can be anything. So we can be rude. That can be your, style. I'm not saying that it was rude. Just as a performance art is never rude. It's the way that you market your artwork. It's the art itself. And also, coming to your question, and I also want to connect it with the question before. So chains are like tools and mediums, and social media is also one of the tools and medium that we have to be on. And the way to reach new collectors, if that's the main purpose, which is for most of us. Yes, we talked about our inner circle, but as you mentioned, for example, Stefano actually said, oh, there are people in this room that I've never seen before. Well, that's the place, and that's the uh, audience that you have to reach, right? If you are not getting a sale from the current audience that you have, then there's something wrong. Of course you need the boost. Of course you need the motivation of all of them. Of course you need friends to ask to, like we've talked with Abrani as well. When you say, hey friends, I have a mint happening next. I have an artwork dropping next week, tomorrow. Of course you need the support of them. But if you're not reaching the collectors, you're doing something wrong. I think the most important part is not um, doing like you spending your energy into shilling. Instead, okay, you might be shilling, but your branding could maybe not standing out enough. Your name might not be. So it's really, when you're passing through all of those PFPs, it's important that a person recognizes you, right? And then when you have one chance to get a repost, a like, or one chance for them to check your link. So if you have your collection spread around, also coming up to the same question of chains, if it's spread around everywhere, if I see a link tree with 20 links, it's hard. I know it's not easy, but you have to solve that issue before trying to reach out new collectors. And then coming from your heart, telling your story, it already resonates with a lot of people. They feel like, okay, I can see where this art comes from. And I find it really valuable. And that's the most thing I think the collectors collect. And then you start to, like, if you don't know who the notable collectors are, that have collected your artworks before, you're losing time. You have to check. That's what we try to do at the Patrunos as well. For example, we get submissions from emerging artists, and we create one-page portfolios for them. So when you check it out, I want to show it. So I find it really valuable because none of the artists are actually doing this kind of stuff, but it's important for the branding. It should be neat. It should be clean. So when you check a portfolio of someone, if you are not die with the most likes, that can make a crazy website where the mouse cursor is moving the opposite direction you move. You can't be Picasso at day one, but it's the name, the links, your chains, your banger artwork, and your collectors in a nutshell. And I think it's really important to be neat, tidy, for them to reach out. You have one chance to get a repost from Snoop Dogg, Cosimo Medici, for example, or a like or a reaction. So you need to use that at the most that you can. That's my take on that.
Well, thank you for sharing
Yeah, thanks.
thoughts. Yeah. We're gonna move on. We have Sarah. We have two more, and then we'll close out this space if that's okay with a little extra time. Epic. You let us know if you want to shut it down.
Let's go. Let's go. I have time.
No, thank you. It means a lot to me, by the way, that you accepted to speak on our space. Matt, me llamo Matt, is here with us on the space, and he's our founder. I just want to highlight the amount of work that he does for us behind the scene as well. And so we're grateful to have you join and support us on our Light Art Me llamo Art space. And with that, we'll continue with Sarah. Welcome to the stage. Thank you so much for being here.
Jamal, and thank you for your great space. Um, I'm so glad to know more about Epik. Um, I have a question about your branding and why you choose Frog for your brand and also PFA. Is it just jumping around or something else?
Actually, yeah, I've actually been into memes since nine gag was not that popular, and I also knew the meme Pepe. So Pepe is, no matter what, yeah, we have Dogecoin, we have Shiba Inus and all that, but I still feel like Pepe is the face of crypto in a way. But I'm not Pepe in, like, of course, I'm also exploring, failing a lot as well. I'm a Pepe. I do dumb stuff. I lose a lot as well. I'm not like popping 1K into a coin and gaining millions. I also do some epic fails. But I'm now a bit more wiser than I have been before, and I try to be one step wiser. Just one click, one little bit wiser than the day before. So that's why I turned my branding into a Pepe, a frog that is actually judging you, kind of looking a bit smartish than dumb and losing everything.
What a way great to kind of say that in this space, we all have epic fails, especially as we're starting out and learning about the tech and learning how to mint at the beginning of every Web3 user. I feel like we if we don't have someone supporting us, we're gonna fail, and that's life too. And so that's a great way to see it. Thank you for that. Next we have Vic. Hi Vic, thank you for joining us on stage.
Hey, GM, Abrani, Paul, Epik, it's really nice to like hear you all in the space, and I just got connected with Epik a couple of weeks back in his space, and the way he spoke and was really patient with people that came on the stage, asked questions, like went further. That was really nice, and it's really nice to hear somebody like have him on the stage and hear his story. Gives really nice insights to the people in the space. And yeah, like I did have one question for Epik. The question was, Epik, besides your usual ways of finding artists, maybe in your spaces, they come on spaces, or through like big accounts, retweeting artists and everything. But besides that, anything you do extra on the side that, to find artists or art that you haven't seen, or kind of, because like we do have a lot of artists in the space that still has problem coming up in spaces, and like sharing the stories and everything. So do you do something extra on the side to find these artists?
Well, thank you so much. Actually, both trying to find new artists and also inspiring myself. That I also have to keep myself inspired as well. And whenever I feel that I'm stuck with inspiration, I sometimes try to be a bit more nostalgic, jump into like a cafe that has books and visuals, and start reading and find an inspiration that has been written or drawn maybe 20 years ago. So in that sense, I try to keep myself inspired. And as you mentioned, I do spend a lot of time on X because it's my main platform. And I love spending time here, creating here, and connecting here. Well, Elon Musk himself is trying to make an everything app, and I believe in that vision, kind of. So my timeline is right now curated so well that I get to see a lot of artworks in a nutshell on my timeline. But I also have, as I mentioned, have my like own Excel file, just like business. Put some artworks that I love that I might buy, or the artists or portfolios that I find interesting. So I create my own book there so that I can come back and check once again. Of course, I do go around Instagram, or just jump into a crypto related um, like marketplace that I've never heard of before. Don't connect your wallet, but just check. Let's drop that alpha there as well. Don't connect your wallet on everything. Just I find a marketplace that are art related. It's pretty new, and then I find some artists that are really interesting, and they're not on Foundation, they're not on Exchange, and then you get to find them and add them as a follower on X. And if they're not on X, well, it's just an inspiration for myself at that point, because then I don't get to, because as my strongest part and profile is on X, I can't find the way to help them a lot. But I'm also thinking on ways of onboarding artists from other platforms, if I can do something. And maybe the Patrunos could be that platform who onboards members from, and every new member here is a positive, is on the positive side for all of us.
That's a great.
Thanks. That
Go ahead, Vic.
No, I just wanted to thank Epic for this amazing response, and it's really nice to know this kind of insights and everything. But yeah, and yeah, thank you all of you, like, for having such spaces. I think we need more spaces like this where we have better conversations. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on the stage and giving me a mic.
Thank you, Vic. We do appreciate you, and part of our community. um, Vic has participated in a lot of things that we've done, so I appreciate your support as our light art community keeps growing and developing. And with that said, if you don't know, we do have a Discord, and together we are empowering artists, inspiring collectors, and building community through spaces, through posts, and our Discord. And we're together for art. So if you have shared a art piece through our Discord on our share um art share channel, we tend to post it on our weekly spaces, on our weekly post, and we highlight artists that share their work there and participate within our community. So you're welcome to join us on our Discord. And keep and stay tuned with what's next. Every Tuesday we have artist spotlights, collector spotlight, and this week we're so grateful for Epic. Epic, do you have any last words you want to leave us with?
So I said it at the beginning of the space, but I want to say it again when everyone's here. I actually forgot how to be a guest because I love hosting spaces, and spaces are the most fun ways of connecting. So friends, when you get in a space, don't feel shy. Just jump on stage. You know, we met with Abrani, with Ashton, Riyadh, with Sarah, Vic on a space, and then now I'm a guest talking with all of you, sharing my thoughts, my ideas about anything, and you get to connect. Connections are really powerful. Maybe number one, most powerful thing in Web3. So as an artist, we need to use it. It's really important. I want to thank you, co-host Paul Lightheart, the community, Miliamo Art. Thanks for everyone who has listened to me. I'm just a frog. Do your own research, of course. Don't trust all of the things that I say. I'm just a frog riding the waves of Web3. I want to thank everyone who has been here. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
We definitely have enjoyed it. We're so grateful for you. For those that don't know, the voice behind Light Art right now is Abrahani, and I'm just honored to be a part of this building and developing community. Thank you, Epic. We've enjoyed our conversation. You are a wealth of knowledge. You're not just a fraud. You're way much more, and we're just grateful for the value that you brought into our conversation. I know Paul is grateful that to be here. I think he had a little emergency. I don't know, if, Paul, if you want to say a last words, if you're available. If not, we'll move on.
Yeah, no, Epic, I just wanted to thank you for your time and how gracious you've been with it, and your information, your insights, how you approach this space. All incredibly valuable for the people that are listening, and how encouraging you are. That is something that yeah, is always needed in this space. So thank you. It was great to get to know you, and to hear your journey and your approach to life, to this space, and to art. So wishing you all the best, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Epic. And with that said, join us next week for our next spotlight. Stay tuned. And for those that have applied to our mentorship program, we will be soon responding to all those emails we received. We're so grateful for your participation, and stay tuned for our next mentorship program to come for next month. And so thank you so much for joining us. We welcome you to join our Discord, and stay tuned. And with that said, have a great Tuesday.